This is a continuous improvement movement reserved for the few with the grit to prove it. Everybody.
Good morning, Calvin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic on this wonderful Wednesday.
Yes, very special Wednesday. Oh my goodness, we have a new president. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. Uh, I'm glad it's over. I know that much. So
Yeah, me too.
right away, I was like, all right, that's over. Let's get back to work, right? Let me focus on what I can do now.
That's right. So today we are going to talk about this press release by Baker Hughes. They
Mm.
have a business called Waygate Technologies, and they just won the Kaizen Award for Operational Excellence.
Yeah, shout out to Waygate. Good work.
Yes, yes, yes. So Waygate has been awarded this Operational Excellence Award in Germany in
Mm.
recognition to the reduction of delivery times, increased capacity, and lowering inventory levels. So
Mm.
I was thinking we can talk a little bit about what Kaizen means and what it looks like in an organization. Can you help us with that?
Yeah, I would be delighted to talk that. It's something I am very passionate about. And there's a misconception, and we're going to clear that up today, actually. So the common understanding of the word Kaizen, and this is a Japanese term, is change for the better, right? Which is loosely translated into continuous improvement. So Kaizen is synonymous with continuous improvement for common language. But there's a deeper meaning if you actually look at the kanjis that are the Kaizen, right? It's two kanjis. The first kanji actually means self-whip, or as I interpret that as self-discipline, right? So discipline is the key word. Self-discipline, right, is the key. So the second kanji stands for the betterment of the community or for the greater good, right? So if you put them together, it's to discipline yourself for the greater good of the community, right? And this is a huge misconception because most people understand Kaizen means I'm going to go, do a Kaizen event. I'm going to improve a process. I'm going to, maybe go into somebody else's area of work and fix them or fix their process. And, that's kind of the approach we've taken when it comes to Kaizen and the understanding we've developed. But really, Kaizen, the true spirit of Kaizen is to be self-reflective and to look at what you can do better in the to the benefit of the entire community. And if everyone adopted that mindset, then you would essentially have arrived at a true Kaizen culture, right? Everybody, everywhere, every day, continuous improvement.
Mhm. When you look at it like that, it just makes me feel like more of a responsibility to do
Mm.
things the right way. Because just think about it, discipline, which is usually a very hard thing to achieve, but when you think about it in the context of for the betterment of the community, so it's not
Mm.
about you anymore. It's about the broader community. So I think it
Yeah.
gives you more sense of duty and responsibility to do good things.
Absolutely. And if you, okay, so let's take it a step further. I'm going to get real philosophical with you now for a second, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Think about the community when it comes to business. You got several stakeholders involved, right? You got employees, you got customers, you got managers, you got owners, you got the local environment, you got the government, right? All of those are kind of players that are at the proverbial table, right? For the business that you operate in the ecosystem that you operate within. So what Kaizen is really doing is trying to get you to think about that community as a whole and what you could do to improve yourself or discipline yourself to develop the right behaviors, skills, talents, and all the rest. Even technology would fit into that, right? To better serve that community, to make it a more sustainable community where, one side isn't being depleted to the profit or gain of another side, right? So everybody should feel like they're winning in that scenario. And that's a true culture of Kaizen. It's almost like thinking of it like equilibrium, right? You're trying to
Mhm.
achieve and maintain equilibrium. And the reality is each of those stakeholders at the table is experiencing a different life or a different existence. And their community, which includes you, but maybe includes other folks that aren't necessarily part of your community, may be pulling them in a different way. For example, customers' needs change over time, right? And their needs are a reflection of their community, their ecosystem that they're operating within, which includes you, but it's not just you, right? It includes other things and other people and other, entities. So as they change, you have to change along with them. You have to adapt. And that's where change for the good takes place. And that's what helps to maintain a functional and sustaining relationship.
Mhm. I like that so much, Calvin. Thank you.
Good.
That's a kind of philosophical conversation we can always, you know, get into. So
Yep.
to obtain this award, Waygate pursued the following key initiatives. So they did daily Kaizen, which is implementing small daily improvements, like we talk
Mm,
about, is one of the core principles of Kaizen. They established a mission control, which is a hub for project management, providing real-time visibility and enabling faster decision making.
mm,
And finally, they did the layout and design of their workspace. So they optimize their physical space to improve the flow, reduce waste, and enhance productivity.
mm.
What do you think about these kind of these improvements, these
I
initiatives that
think
they pursued?
one of the things you mentioned, and this is critical to call out, and I'm glad you mentioned it. It wasn't the main point you were making, but it's a very big point. It's an important point about Kaizen is small, incremental, continuous, daily improvement. It's like the 1% every day, right? If you improve by 1% every single day for 365 days, you'll be 38 times better at the end of the year than when you started, right? That's enormous, right? Anybody would take a 38x improvement in the area that's, important to you. Um, so that's huge because most companies think of Kaizen, they think of projects as, we're going to hit a home run. We're going to do this big project. We're going to have all these gains and it's going to be wonderful, this, that, and the third. But really, true Kaizen is trying to get you to think small, but consistent and disciplined and, do the 1% every day, right? So that's huge. But some of the other things you mentioned that the company did, those are all, great textbook lean initiatives. And if you do a good job of engaging everybody and driving Kaizen and continuous improvement every day, a lot of those types of improvements are inevitable, right? You're going to see, in looking for that next improvement and that next improvement idea, you'll start to just chip away at all the things that are causing friction within the business. And some of the things you named are great examples. Um, but with any company, you kind of got to know what you're trying to achieve, right? You got to have a North Star. So, once you have that North Star, and ideally that North Star should lead to, more success for the business, right? It should be something your customer would be happy with. So once you got that crystal clear, and then some of those other things kind of fall in a natural order in your efforts to achieve that bigger goal.
Mhm. And the North Star for Waygate in this situation seemed to be the delivery time,
Mm,
because through this initiative, they achieved a 40-point improvement on their punctuality um, of that delivery time. They also reduced 20% of the stock levels and 40% reduction in the work in progress levels. So
hmm.
everything seemed to be pointing at delivering their products on time every single time.
And
So,
that's great.
mhm. So what do you think other companies should expect if they decide to pursue Kaizen?
So yeah, I mean, Kaizen is synonymous with the lean journey, right? So things like reducing work in progress, better employee engagement, better customer satisfaction. Again, think about all the stakeholders that are sitting around the table, that represent the ecosystem that your business works within. Everybody should feel like they're winning, right? Now, in the same idea as this company, you do have to set a North Star, and you got to know what you're trying to improve, right? And ultimately, that should be something that your customer is signaling as the direction for improvement. And it should lead to a better working relationship with your customer, right? Maybe that's reducing cost, maybe that's increasing throughput so you can serve more customers. Maybe that's increasing flexibility. Maybe that's improving quality, right? You kind of got to get clear on what you're trying to achieve, and then get serious about applying the science, right? A lot of lean and continuous improvement stuff is scientific management, and even further scientific leadership, applying the science of improvement. And a lot of Kaizen is really just the application of scientific thinking and the scientific method towards solving all the problems that are keeping you from achieving your goal. So, as you embark down that journey, I mean, there are frictions in the business. The people who work for you know it, all the way down to the shop floor. They know it too. And it's just a matter of saying, hey, what's the next biggest thing that's keeping us from moving forward, and applying the scientific thinking toward addressing it and then moving on to the next thing. I like to think of like a Pareto chart that's got a bunch of bars, and you knock down the first biggest bar, you have success with that. Now it's no longer the biggest bar. You just take the next biggest bar in line and then work that down. So in just doing that, you're essentially creating a smoother operation where, people are more happy at work and more productive as well.
Yes, it has so many positive benefits that there is no reason not to pursue Kaizen in your organization.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Now
Calvin.
I think you asked me, you asked me earlier about the Kaizen Institute Award, that this organization won. Now, these awards are offered by several organizations, and they often give these awards out on a set time frame. They have a calendar, right? And they'll pull in the best candidates in that time frame, and then they'll decide which one wins, right? The thing is, they don't have visibility into every company. So they usually have a limited pool to select from, and they're usually selecting from the ones that submit or apply for the award. So if you think you're making some good progress and you want the publicity that comes with winning an award like this, I encourage you to submit. I know Kaizen Institute does it, AME does it. What's the other one? The Shingo Award does it. So there are a good number of prestigious awards that you may already be ready for. And worst case scenario, if you submit and you don't get accepted, you don't win, at least you understand what gaps you need to close so that you can apply and try for the future, right? It's the same continuous improvement process that we would apply to improve performance of a business process.
Yes, definitely apply. And talking about applying, especially for a Kaizen Award, the Global Kaizen Award, it's coming up, and the submission deadline is November 12th. So you have until Tuesday to apply. You still have a little time. So go ahead, do that. And, it's just another step into improving your operational excellence culture.
Absolutely.
All right. With that said, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's get better every single day, and we hope to see you again tomorrow. For daily news on operational excellence and how it relates to current events, check us out on the Ticket to Freedom podcast.
Simply subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay up to date on the latest developments in continuous improvement.